I'm super excited to see what Andrew Booth could potentially be. With training camp in full swing, things are getting exciting now. We're finally getting some stuff to talk about. So far, one of the early surprises of training camp has been the emergence of rookie cornerback, second-round pick, Andrew Booth Jr. Now, obviously, he didn't get a chance to participate in off-season activities because he was still recovering from his double hernia surgery, which the injury also, I'm sure there's some wording in the contract that was an issue, which stopped him from signing his contract until the day before camp started. But all that's in the rearview mirror. He's signed, he's in practice, and he is playing super well. A guy that had first round talent, getting him in the second round was huge. I'm super excited to see what Andrew Booth could potentially be. You know, they have I don't know what they're going to call it anymore because they're not Mankato, but they have the Mr. Mankato. I think he's a shoo-in at this point for that name because just what he's been doing so far has been nothing short of impressive, obviously, coming from off the injury and being a rookie. What are your thoughts on Mr. Booth?
Before I jump into that, I want to thank everybody for watching the GG Sport podcast of Minnesota Vikings, where we endure heartbreak but always bleed purple. Hit that subscribe button. We're coming into the regular season here, pretty close, some preseason. We got a lot of great content coming and all that stuff. So, yes, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get notifications for our videos. And Andrew Booth. Let me put this back up again. Yeah, man, Mr. Mankato, obviously. Do you mention that? Obviously, it's not in Mankato anymore. Yeah, you did mention that. So it's not there. I'm sure someone has a different name for it. We still have to figure out what it is. But, you know, it's early in training camp. We're what, a week and a half in, somewhere around there. But there's no question this guy has stood out, especially like you mentioned with the injury and the signing the contract thing. And the big thing about the injury is, you know, he played very well in college, and this injury thing was a big deal with it, and he still played very well. And now he says he is healthy, and it sounds like it's showing on the field. You know, from a few days ago, or what day was it? Like Monday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. He had a really nice interception against Justin Jefferson, covering Justin Jefferson against Kirk Cousins. That just shows, it's just so crazy because going into the whole draft process that me and you did, where we kind of created a 5-player rankings of each position going into the draft, and we did our due diligence on cornerbacks because obviously it was a position of need. When we got to Andrew Booth, one thing that stuck out the most by far to us was just that just his interception ability. He has this natural ability to just go up for the ball and adjust to the ball to catch it like he's a receiver. Like when you watch his highlights, and actually I mentioned this in the video I did on the Purple Code on Facebook, was that when you watch him, he kind of just looks like a wide receiver out there. Like when you watch his highlights, you'd think he was the wide receiver just because the way he adjusts to the ball, and it must be the way he tracks the ball and the way he positions himself to go get the ball. It's just like he's the wide receiver, and he has that neck. Like from all the cornerbacks, and I did say this in that one as well, of all the cornerbacks going into the draft, even if we were higher on guys like Singletary or Sauce Gardner or something at the time, one thing that showed for sure was that Andrew Booth looked really nice getting interceptions. He probably looked the most natural at getting interceptions. And I think the fact that he comes into training camp, picks off Kirk Cousins, going against Justin Jefferson that early, and, you know, everything he's continuing to get that buzz, and not just that, but he has that, like, you know, kind of that beast mentality, that like it mentality, where he's gotten a couple almost like scuffle things with some of our wide receivers like ISM earlier on. And just, you know, he's not out there. He's proven himself. He's out there, something to prove. He's not going to let people walk all over him. He's not going to do anything. He wants that cornerback or that starting quarterback job. And dude, it's been impressive and really exciting that we picked him in the second round pick, and he's just coming to training camp, and he's being that guy for us already. And, you know, you don't see that out of rookies every year. You don't really even see rookies that often that look like they're going to be Mr. Mankato candidate, especially early.
especially corners, because they say behind
Right.
quarterback, corner is the hardest position to transfer from college to pros, because those look at these pro receivers, they know where they're going, and you as a corner, you got to guess and you got to be able to be quick and follow them along. So the fact that he's already showing up in practice against some of these great receivers that the Vikings have is impressive. And you said it, his attitude, he's got that alpha dog mentality. You know, he wants to be the best. He's confident, and that's amazing. I love to see it. I'm super excited to see what he can do. I think he's going to be that surprise rookie that ends up being a starter by day one.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about where he's going to start, when he comes in, you start thinking like we got a couple young guys on the team. I think Caleb Evans is a project. I think it's going to be a couple years till he's quite ready to go. But I always thought like it's Cam Dantzler and it's Patrick Peter, and it's Cam Dantzler and it's going to be Andrew Booth. They're going to be your two corners. However, it's sounding like Dantzler is struggling just a little bit, and that so far Booth has been playing over Dantzler. So kind of just, I mean, obviously Patrick Peterson is Patrick Peterson, but you could always see like that vet, kind of like Terrence Newman did, that vet that takes a step back in a role, and he's a teacher as well. I mean, because Patrick Peterson, he's not Patrick Peterson of the mid teens in the 2000s. He's aging, and he still has some talent, but he's not that number one cornerback anymore. So you're really hoping to see the young guys step up. I think Cam Dantzler still has a ton of potential. So not ready to count him out yet. It's still early, but as of right now, that's kind of what the word is, that Booth is getting reps over Dantzler.
Yeah, and we'll see here. I know it's kind of been more when the Pats came on. Cam Dantzler was having a really good start to training camp earlier on. Like the buzz was about Andrew Booth, but quietly Dantzler was looking phenomenal himself. There was a few days ago during training camp where they threw a couple balls against Dantzler. I know one was Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson, I believe, and it was just like a perfect throw. So there is some of that. Like sometimes I don't care if you're the best cornerback in the entire league. If you have a good corner or a good quarterback and one of the best wide receivers in the league, like what do? It's Justin Jefferson. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just, I think that battle is still up in the air. I still would say it's probably Dantzler's job is now. I don't know. It's too early in training camp to really say that yet, but man, I don't know. We just got to start in Andrew Booth. And it's exciting to get a cornerback in the second round and have him come in and do that right now. Obviously, this is way different than going in like even preseason or especially the regular season. This isn't the first time anyone's seen a player that looked really good in training camp earlier on just to not really do much in the regular season or not really turn into much at all. But man, I mean, this kid's swag, as long as he stays healthy, and his interception ability. I mean, I say every time, like his interception ability is different than these other cornerbacks, and it's different than other quarterbacks in general, in my opinion. I mean, you see, everyone's seen that one-handed catch. So he has that. He has that knack. I could see him being more like I don't know if he'll get as many interceptions as a Trevon Diggs or something, but I definitely think he'll be able to cover better. And this might be a hot take, but I think he's going to be the best cornerback out of all these rookies this year.
Ooh, you think so, huh? It'll be interesting. Because obviously Stingley's up in the air. I haven't heard anything on his progress. I don't know how he's coming along with his injuries and whatnot, but Gardner's gonna be hard to beat. That if you want to talk about confidence, that guy's got confidence. But
yeah, he does. I like Gardner.
But
he plays for the Jets.
I get it. These guys are all first-round picks.
I don't care who you are, unless you're Darrelle Revis and you play for, I guess, Darrelle Revis, but anyone else you play for the Jets, you automatically go down 5 points.
That's kind of true, yeah. But I mean, look at Booth. A lot of people had him as a first-round talent due to injuries, dropped to the second. So he's right up there with those guys. And some people had him ranked as the third corner ahead of Trent McDuffie. Mm-hmm. We'll see if it's true or not. And that's what camp's all about. You get to preseason, you get to see him in action against some other teams, and I guess, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. Anything else you want to talk about with no, we're good.
Not too much.
All right. Let us know if you think Mr. Mankato will be Andrew Booth. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.
Skol Vikes.